Hi. Okay, this is a general intro that I'm going to add to every one of the 12 readings I'm about to do for each sign individually, but I've got the cards organized right now. I'm going to do house readings. I'm going to go for each sign. I'm going to check each of your 12 houses, what your energy is in them, and that's my idea of the most accurate sort of diagnosis I can come up with. You know, it would be my version of, you know, it's similar to the, well, it's not similar to a Celtic cross or something, but in terms of not just my free flow normal readings. So what I wanted to show in introduction was how I'm going to use the cards to classify a bit. I'm going to identify, I'll put, one card will be up here, so whatever your sign you are that you're going to be identifying with in the reading, it'll be up here. For me, this is Aries energy, Leo energy, and Sagittarius energy, but by houses, by first, fifth, and ninth houses, right? That's what how I'm classifying the energy. So you might very well be King and Queen energy and watching for Aries, right? So I'll what I'll do is I'll have the Page of Wands up, identifying it as Aries, but the other cards will go back in the deck. So if you are coming out in Knight or Queen or King energy and it needs to come out in the reading, then it will, okay? And we'll correctly identify. So similar, Taurus, because we all know, I keep going on about this, I reclassified Earth and Air to match the houses, but also there are more reasons to reclassify them in their cardinal, mutable, and fixed energies than just the cardinal points that Ptolemy gave them. So I'll make a video arguing that out. I explain it most videos, but Taurus at Page, cardinal energy, Virgo, Knight, and then the entrepreneur, because of the career house, the 10th house is career house, so King and Queen energy for Capricorn, okay? But again, same old. If you're watching for that sign and you're in other, you know, you're in a particular energy, then it'll come through in the deck, because I'll just put the one card up as a signifier and the others will be back mixed in with the deck. So Gemini, and otherwise, so remember Earth and Air I've reclassified. Gemini, Libra as the Knight, and Aquarius as Queen and King because of 11th house, 3rd house, 7th house, and 11th house, okay? And Cups, Cancer, 4th house, Scorpio, 8th house, and 12th house with Pisces. And I would make note that with Pisces, because the 12th house is all houses, and Pisces can take on the qualities, the attributes of any sign, because they've been through all of them. So this Queen and this King wear all the crowns. Even more so than how we classify with the Emperor, right? Or even the Empress. These two, because they're all signs and all houses, they wear all 8 crowns. So that's how I classify those. They'll be representing your sign. For the houses, I know that this is typically in tarot, this is an Aquarius card, but I like it to be, I'm going to use it, it can be identified with Aries in first house, yes. And so I believe in astrology it's used as a first house card, is how I first learned it. So I'm going to use it for first house. I'm going to use the Hierophant. I often, in my astrology work, I'll use him as Chiron, as a planet placement, but I'd rather use him in this. I won't worry about a Chiron card. I'm going to use him as the 2nd house. Lovers for 3rd house. Chariot, because it gets confusing between the... I use the High Priestess card, which is normally a 4th house card. I use her as a Lilith placement. Which may or may not come out in the reading, but I'll know if it is. And Lilith, as a lunar experience placement, can be magnetisms and polarities. So they'll give me definite messages if I need. So I'm using the Chariot because that is a 4th house card. It's a Cancer card, so it might as well be used. I'm using the Strength card for 5th house, yes. Of course, Hermit for 6th house, Justice for 7th house, Death for 8th house, Temperance, of course, for 9th house. And I get torn with this because I know it's Capricorn, but it's I could use the World card, but I use the World card for Saturn as a planet placement. So I'm going to use Capricorn's card, the Devil, for 10th house, Aquarius and the Star. And I do equate the Tower more with 11th house with Uranus than with Mars and Pluto in Scorpius. It's a split camp. If you go researching online, it's as far as I know, it's a 50-50 split. But I've done my research, and I've got my articles that I refer to that identify the issues that the Tower brings more with Uranus issues. So I'm going to use the Star, obviously, for Aquarius. And then in astrology, the moon is Cancerian, but in Tarot, it is Pisces. So, and I need it because Hangman has the Neptune meaning. So these will be, I will use these. They won't be in the deck. They're going to be signifying the houses. So they're going to stay out of it. So what we do in place of them, and they'll be up here. I'll just have one card up at the top, and that'll show which house we're working on. And then for the planets, right? So these will be put back in the deck so that if there's a house that's affecting your house that we're reading about, or there's a planet affecting that, right? Then we have them mirrored, right, by their rulers here. So Sun and Leo, the 5th house. Mercury, so the Magician is Mercury in 3rd house. Of course, Venus, 2 houses. We've got 7th house and 2nd house there. So, and we're going to use High Priestess as Lilith. So any lunar house she might represent, right? But let's say she typically represents the moon, so that would be Cancerian. But Mars, right? Emperor. Jupiter, the wheel. Saturn, the world. So for me, Uranus, the Tower, Hanged Man, Neptune, and Judgment, Pluto. Okay, so those will be put back in the deck. And now let's get to your individual readings, and I hope that makes sense. That's what I do when I'm using the cards in chart work. And now, I'll break for a moment, and I'll be right back. Hey Cancer, are you ready? Let's get right into it. Let's get into that first house. I'll just breathe into the cards a bit. I've got your Page of Cups energy up there. Guess what I did to Gemini? Well, actually, I think it was part of Gemini's story. Page of Swords got put back in the deck. And definitely a point was made about it later on in the reading. So, but there you are up there. As we just had your new moon, which was actually quite lovely for me. I'm very happy in 4th house. So, thank you. I have strong placements there that are supposed to be bad placements, but I actually really love them. I have Saturn and Mars, which are supposed to be in, one's supposed to be complete, well, they're both supposed to be very compromised in this house, but I actually, the point is to work any placement to its advantage, and once you do that, then, so, no, I'm very easy in that. So it was a very nice new moon, and I hope it was also for you. But I do appreciate that your house, which I've just finished spending a month in a couple months ago, studying in my astrology book. It's a house of 0 tolerance policies for toxic behavior. So I think everybody needs to know that. So I'll do my best to communicate it. But here we are. Now, like I said, Aquarius energy typically in tarot, but also 1st house energy. So we're going to look at what is happening with you in your 1st house, your house of self, your rising sign house. Now we have something in progress because it's coming out at a 45-degree angle. We have what for me is 6th house energy, Virgo energy. Others would put it as Taurus, but I put it with 6th house over 2nd house. So there's either a fair exchange that's coming through, but this is also my free will versus soul contract card in terms of exactly how much free will you have in a situation, or whether you're caught answering to to a contract. And so that is primarily between you and God, and your understanding of who God is and what's fair or not fair about this universe, which you might have decided already, or you need to decide. But we have almost a cross energy, not quite though. Anything else I want to say about this? So this would be, because it's 6th house, it's something to do with either problem solving, routines, workplace, health, being guided also, because the Hermit, Mercury energy, so something to do with thinking, and the Mystic, the Hermit, being a form of magician, yes, a matured magician. Okay, now what we have that's going to need even more, well, actually about the same amount of time. So maybe they are, developing together. This King of Wands, okay, which I would put as 9th house energy, Sagittarius energy, but it could be any fire energy of any person, right? It could be you. It could be you, Cancer. The king with the plan, right? And the intuition and the revelations and everything. So the question is, and since we are in the house of self, and your own trajectory, I mean, your rising house is not only like your inner personality, but I find that your behavior patterns follow. Like if you have more than one sign in your first house, more than one constellation, like I'm a Scorpio, Sagittarius, Capricorn, first house, unless we're talking whole house, and then I'm just Scorpio. But but I like to combine both, right? So you're looking at your trajectory through life, and so possibly you have strong fire in your rising. But there's a plan there in progress, in the early stages, I would say, or being revised, because it's not straight in the upright. It's not a fresh plan. Yeah, it's not a fresh plan. It's a recovery plan. Or, okay, now we have stuck energy. Interesting. So your communication energy, we've got two very expressive kings here, because Wands energy is extremely expressive. So Sagittarius energy, and for me, 11th house energy, so Aquarius energy. Others would put it as Gemini, but King and Queen energy I put with the mutable houses of, well, I put the mutable houses as the 9, 10, 11, 12, where there's so much complexity of, producing and connecting with people over it. The profession houses, yeah. So, okay, so something is stuck. And it's possibly stuck because of how it falls. It's possibly stuck between this fair exchange and the plan. So let's start there with that. Let's just sort of, I gotta kind of keep a shorthand about what those cards were like. Let's go to your 2nd house, because this can go on for a long time. 2nd house of, now it can be home, but let's say, yeah, it can be home. Investments, capital, assets, liabilities, debts. And of course we have the teacher and the students. We have the, let's say, the enforcement on your spiritual life of matrix of this world crime syndicate, authorities that impose themselves upon you with their red tape and their frauds, which don't have to be frauds, but because it's a slave trade economy, and a trafficking economy, then therefore, but there could, so it's, yeah, let's see, Taurus, obviously. But basically, your matrix security, your although your own house is very much about security. Let's see here. Second house. I tend to put the focus on finances. Why did I say finances? Finances. We are not wanting to talk about money. Is that what we're not wanting to do, Cancer? Page of Pentacles energy. First house is Page of Wands energy. Okay. Right, we're not wanting to talk about money. Okay. We have 10th house for me here. It would be otherwise known as Virgo, but 6th house, but no, entrepreneur for me is completely 10th house energy. So the 9 of Pentacles, proving yourself to everyone, going back to the 8 of Pentacles of proving yourself to yourself. So there's stress between you and the system. So that possibly, that obviously connected to that 6 of Pentacles, that fair exchange, that fair trade, possibly debts, except that it's 6th house energy. So, and the plan. Now, we do have an ace. We have your own house energy here, because the ace, 2, 3, and 4 of cups are Cancerian. So now, so you're completely interesting. And here we have 8 of Wands. We have that King of Wands energy here in the upright. Messages, absolutely, communication, progress, and home is on the other side of that river. So we are progressing towards, so interesting to have 9th house upright, 10th house upside down. The faith is strong because we have 2 cards representing, like 9th house is faith. Faith and long journeys and truth and philosophy and you know, allowing for, like the temperance energy of allowing for divine timing. And, you know, the angel with the 2 cups. So we've got your cup is fine. Your cup is fine. What is the deal with this? Why is the 9 of Pentacles absolutely upside down? Okay, that's all we need for... Okay, interesting. So we have Sagittarius as ruler and Pisces ruler, co-ruler, Jupiter here, the wheel, upside down, matching this entrepreneurial, this independence, yes? And it's a question of timing, it's a question of your chart. It's a question of your chart. Okay, now you do have Leo energy here that's strong, so your ego is fine. You have the recognition. The 6 is here, or it's coming, of people that you need to give you your due. So again, that 6 of Pentacles in progress. So interesting. So once we get to 10th house, either when we get to 10th house we'll know, or 9th house possibly. But I'm really curious as to why. Okay. So mostly everything is looking very promising, but I would put, because the Pentacles are not here, I would say everything is in good faith. And it's a question of timing. So how do you know that it's going to be fine? 3rd house. Again, house of mind, ruled by Mercury, same as Virgo. Now Gemini energy, community, of course the Lovers, but ethics, knowledge, what you know and what you're going to do with what you know in the 11th house, right? Magic, the Magician obviously representing Mercury. Knowing the truth, something's in progress. Okay, so here we have that 9 of Pentacles with the Saturn card ruling Capricorn, but also ruling Aquarius. And that's in progress, yes. Fears, boundaries, calculated risks. So is that towards... Got career energy. You have absolutely career energy in the House of Knowledge. And then ending and a beginning. You have divine timing here. Okay, so I don't know if the camera caught it or not, but we had the Four of Swords come out stuck. Which is the, and for me that's full Gemini energy. Ace, 2, 3, 4 and of Swords is Gemini. Libra is normally considered those cards, but I put it with, but I changed up air and earth, yeah. So that I put all the cardinals together in the year, I put all the fixed together in the year, and I put all the mutable together. The truth, this sort of truth that comes in the third house, this knowledge that you have to have in order to move forward correctly. If it's not cardinal to need the Ace of Swords, what the heck? So, now we're stuck between, obviously, the Three of Swords and the Five of Swords. So the question is, why? Flipping right upside down. Okay, so absolutely this is echoing, you know, this is more Virgo and 6th house. I'll emphasize 6th house energy, which is Virgo and Hermit, Mystic. So again, we have Magician, Mystic, Mercury. So in the mind, very much mind energy in your reading so far, Cancer. The spirit is fine. It's the very much the matrix. Stuck on the truth, and it's affecting. We have a 7 of transformation here going back, and this is going back to that 6. So there's some kind of financial investment in you, possibly, that's due, that's coming. There's some kind of gift. A 6 is a gift, and it's in progress, it's in process. So either the opportunity, well, it's not an ace, so no, it's definitely an affirmation. 6s are affirmations that you're on the right path. They're gifts that come to you, or opportunities that come to you, shall we say, but usually endowments of some kind, so that to enable you to transform. And to affirm for you that you are on the right path, because there's such a leap of faith into becoming what you're supposed to be, right? And your relationship with your God and guides is such that, you know, you try not to make a misstep without their, you know, you try not to make a misstep. You're looking to make sure that, and when the risks, yes, become greater and greater and greater, because the work becomes more and more focused, and you're progressing, then there can be greater pauses. There can be huge pauses of like, holy shit, right? So that's what's going on. We'll find out exactly. We get the picture as we go. Sometimes it's very clear right off the bat. But I think also when we have such strong spiritual energy, it can cloud. Yeah, it actually can. Just like that 7 of Cups in Scorpio. Because there's so much that needs to be sorted. So let's check out your own house, Cancer. How are you doing in your own house? Roots, ancestors, family, guides. What else? 0 toxicity, balance, self-discipline, yin-yang, getting set up with the spiritual work, understanding those soul contracts, right? Because it's the Ace through the 4 of Cups. Okay, kind of in progress here. Wow. Yeah, okay. So going back to Six of Cups, but it is in progress, this transformation. Scorpio energy, and really stepping into, so you're progressed. We already know you've got the Ace of Cups, so we know that you are yeah, okay, so we've got 4th and 8th. Now the thing is, it's gonna need to get upright. It's gonna need to go further. It's closer to being upside down. But a gift did come then. A spiritual communication. Yes, that Ace of Cups did come. Because there's a 1 between a 6 and a 7, right? Okay, so that gift came. That gift came. In your 2nd house. So either a spiritual connection and strength and reinforcement from family, or just a lot of messages. Your guides. Yes, okay, so your guides have been giving you plenty of messages. And it looks like family guides. It looks like ancestors. Or at least, they could be professional guides though, actually. Are they professional guides? Because they're in your, you know, what are we talking about here? So there's certainty, legacy guides, 11th house, mastermind thinking. So there's that king, because this is King of Swords energy. Proving yourself to everyone. Now that King of Swords, right, where was he stuck? Right in your 1st house. Now if we take the strict traditional, you know, meaning of this card as being agonizing, right? I mean, there could be a level of that, but the Swords cards have such negative connotation, negative, not even connotations, meanings given to them, whereas really if we just look at them numerically and look at thinking as a good thing, necessary thing, 9 is 1 step away from 10. It's mastermind thinking, but it is King, Queen of Swords thinking. So right at your core, very close to your identity right now, very close to who you are in the world, along with that King of Wands. So they're going hand in hand. And it's tied to this transformation, this Ace of Cups, which has to have, so your legacy is tied to your career. Sometimes they're separate. What have we had fall? Okay, now for me this is Libra energy. Others would put it as Aquarius energy, but for me it's Libra. So we have, going back to the 6 of Swords, safe passage. We have another transformation here. In communication, possibly needing the right audience. Yeah, possibly needing the right community. Others. Emphasis on others. You and others. Anything else for 4th house? But heavy thinking. Justice, obviously. Something is unfair. Something's unfair in your 4th. So is family a problem? Or you have enemies. And why wouldn't you? Anytime we all do. So, the Ace in progress. Tying us back to those 8 wands. So there's like a, and that's in the same direction as these swords. Somebody's trying to steal your fire. Possibly. Let's find out. Let's find out. Let's put that in progress. Put that in progress. Okay. Let's go to a Wands house. Let's go to 5th house. So leadership. Leadership, pride, strong ego, lunar versus solar, more balance, creativity, obviously. My chart doesn't show anything about my kid in my 5th like they say it's supposed to, so I realize some equate 5th house to family, to children, but it doesn't pan out for me in any house system. So let's see for you. We're still recording. Beautiful. Hey! Okay, so we're feeling completely instinctual and on track. If that's a double, is there a child involved? That's a double strength Leo energy. What more could you ask for than that? However, do we have any? Okay, wow, 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 beautiful. Okay, very creative energy, because this is Pluto energy, 8th house energy. Again, so think about those 7 cups that are in progress, right? Yeah, you've got haters because you're being so creative. This is all your, like, your hidden powers, your hidden wealth, everything that you're, everything that you, but it, what do I want to say? It's taking dead energy, right? Or things and bringing them to life, right? It's animating things. And you have 2 major arcana here. So this house is incredibly important to you right now, Cancer. Like, can't overstate that. So then let's find out. So it looks like a lot of the conflicts are going to be anchored to that. Let's go to your 6th house, which starts off in your 1st house. So let's see what Mercury can tell us here. We'll compare it to what Mercury told us in your 3rd. No, we won't, because he just doesn't want to speak. Didn't we have this problem with, no, we had that problem with your 2nd house. Something's almost coming through. Okay, wow. Let's just shift that then. So something's very near, wish fulfillment's very near to, whether or not you know what that Ace of Cups worked. So, if things are looking so cheery, well, now Pisces is directly opposite Virgo. 12th, of course, is directly opposite 6th. This is very close to 10 of Cups is your North Node. So wherever your North Node is in your chart, and you need a sidereal chart for it to be accurate. You can argue how to figure out, well, I do a combined sidereal tropical chart. Very interesting. 10 of Pentacles stuck. Career energy stuck. Yes. Again, so we have this contrast of spiritually great. So I feel like you know exactly what you want to be doing, what you should be doing. And now we are basically looking for the payoff for it. And again, if it needs to be, if all this energy is in 5th, then it's in the creating of, the expressing of. It's too soon. It's too soon to bring the money in, possibly. Look at this. But we do have Queen of Pentacles right here. So you have career energy in your 6th house, in your mystic. Your, you know, if we just take it as roles, yes, to be this, and we have 9 of Cups right here. So this person is deep psychic Cancer, which like shocking for you. Let's just do Virgo energy in the 1st house. Yeah, mediumship, we could say. But what you want and what, no. But why do we, yeah, so, yeah, okay. See, the Queen versus the 9 in reverse. It's so interesting. Is it that she isn't in the 2nd house now? Do I have this where you can't see it? Right? In the 2nd house, we have her so upside down. She's broke. She's broke. She's spiritually full. She's totally in touch. We're waiting on the wheel. The wheel is down. But feeling full Leo energy. Absolutely. Absolutely. Leo card. So the pride is there, the identity is there, the creativity is there, the ability to lead is there. Then in 3rd house, okay, so we have the stuck energy, that truth with the, every time it does that, it reminds me of strings attached. And I gotta fix that string. So the knowledge, what you know. Something you don't know. There's something you're stuck knowing. And then, of course, this world was in progress. So this energy is completely tied to this energy. In yourself, because we have... Okay. Very strong 6th house. So there's not really any reason to look anywhere else for who you are, what you should be doing. 7th house. Justice, the others in your life, the contracts, the truth, but also negotiations. Technically, your partner, but also your children. You know, any soul contract. But matrix problems, real world problems. Not, well, every world is real world. What do I mean? This life problems. Yes. Immediate. High Priestess making adjustments in your life. Similar to Empress energy. Obviously, Venus. Now, if we think about, it's making me think about Venus back in your 2nd house. We need to think about the Venus influence, the Empress influence in 2nd house. Manifesting. Manifesting. Okay. So now we have 1st house energy, Aries energy. Now, and also it's reminding me that Pluto, the Judgment card, right? Oh, and I pulled right to it. In your 5th house. This is Pluto is Pluto's co-ruler, Mars, in Scorpio, right? Also, of course, rules 1st house. So there could be 8th house energy tied to 1st house energy, right? So that 5th house extreme creativity, yes, could be tied to this. This person is waiting on someone. there's a manifestation because it's 3, but there is a waiting on somebody in progress. Should there be? Well, it's in progress. And how does it tie into everything? Does it tie in emotionally? Does this explain that King of Wands and the Ace of Wands? We have the 8 of Wands. Now, is it because of all those 8 wands from your guides? Interesting. Necessary change. So we have Leo coming in here. 5th house coming in. Conflicting desires. You're strong, because you're so strong in your 5th house right now, because you're so, it's taking us back to the 4 of Wands, stability. So clearly, yeah, no, there's somebody, obviously, this is simple enough. There's somebody that is just at odds or is posing. Is it connected to those 7 swords? Because we have that Libra energy, right? Already on the table. Somebody trying to steal something from you. Steal your fire. Interesting. So here we have Empress. This is where she is. She's focusing over here now, more so than in the 2nd house, because this will affect 2nd house. Divine timing in manifesting. So it looks like this is working to get, look, we've got a heart shape. We've got even a Mars thing happening, because Mars traces a heart around Earth in its orbital path around the sun. So yeah, a lot of your oomph, a lot of your mojo is tied up in this relationship. It's tied, and it's hard to achieve in Pentacles energy when your mojo is, but you know what's so interesting though? So we need to divide mojo from pride, from creative. It's so interesting. Is there anything else to... It's in progress. Whatever it is, it's in progress. And it's being manifested. It's going to show up. Is there a pregnancy? No. Well, maybe, but right now there's a work situation. Okay. Because I said she's over here and not over in 2nd house. And this is 2nd house. 2nd house is over here. Okay. So this is all tied to a work situation. Could be tied to home, but we're looking at a Mason, you know, consulting with the monk and the nun, with over the blueprints to the cathedral, the institution, and the thing is what you want with that institution. And conflicts, for me, it's a conflicts of interest card. And saying yes, possibly, to the wrong situation. And I feel like there is, if we go back and we revisit what's actually happening in the 2nd house, right? Where Venus is, you know, like this is the opposite of Venus. So she's working on this with you. And I just feel like there is, if we go to that truth that needs to be acknowledged. We could be looking at needing to step out on your own, or at least step into the right collaboration. Yeah, no, you're waiting on the right collaboration. This is 3 of manifesting with others. This is all showing that there are others. going back to the Eight of Pentacles. So in order to be, you need to be ready for it. But it's so interesting that but yeah, no, the wheel, the timing, that's dependent on what she's doing with you then. Okay. Something of what's going on. Something of what's going on. Okay. So let's progress. See, that King of Wands is popping out again in that first house. And that six. That Six of Pentacles in yourself, in your nature. Progress. Let's put her sideways. But that Three of Pentacles is definitely in the upright. Okay. So, what's Scorpio going to tell us? What will 8th house, since we've got so much going on, so Pluto, strong energy in your 8th house would mean knowing, an all-knowingness, yes? Speaking of that the Ace of Cups, right? Yeah, the absolute all-knowingness, being a whole self, being connected to guides. And it's the 5, 6, 7 of Cups. So it's getting over anything, any regrets. We do have the 7 of Cups on the table and the 6 of Cups. So now they were in progress. So this energy might not be as strong as I'm... it might not be. All right, now we have Taurus energy. We have second house energy right here. Going back to that 10 of Pentacles in reverse. Yes. No, 10 of Pentacles is stuck sideways between the Ace and the 9 of Pentacles. Okay, so your first house, no, your second house, yes, with, yeah, your 8th house is transforming your second house. Well, actually, your Venus is the god. Is correcting a situation for yep. Look at this. Just second house energy right here. 4th leading back to that 3. Which we have right there in your 7th. Absolutely. Absolutely. So we have instability. Okay, so we do have instability, but that's because everything that's in progress and all that creative energy. Very interesting. Very interesting. So this is completely to do with that 9 of Pentacles in reverse. This is explaining the 9 of Pentacles in reverse in your second house. This is explaining why, or maybe not why she's reversed, but what's happening to her, because she's coming back from the dead. She's going from broke to prosperous, and it started with spiritual alignment. Because the healing must have been needed. Yes, okay, so now we have Gemini. We have that 4 of Swords here, here, with the 2 of Swords. Knowing. You need to know what it's making up your mind, yes. Trying to decide for yourself about a new situation. Gemini energy for me. Others would put it as Libra, but for me, Gemini, 3rd house. Pre-magician energy. But you're having to make up your mind about a thing that you haven't had to make up your mind about before. Going down a new road, going down a new path. Obviously, this would be a new path. So there could be some hesitation about this. We've got that Truth. We've got that 4 of Swords stuck between the 3 of Swords and the 5 of Swords. So stuck between heartache and necessary change of the 5. So a choice. Choice needs to be made. A choice needs to be made in the 8th house. So that's interesting. But we don't have any divine timing there. But if we're talking about the free will in your 1st house, okay, so they're saying that you have the, you know, they're saying that you need to take ownership. You need to take ownership of whatever this is. It won't be enough just to follow. You'll have to step, yeah, okay. So 9th house, here we have the King of Wands house, those 8 wands, full of faith, long journeys, healing, the start of career energy, you know, connecting with people. Wow, that is some fast. Okay, interesting. King of Pentacles energy. So again, your career energy, this is where it's progressing in your faith house. Now we have Queen of Pentacles in your Queen of Pentacles upright in your Virgo. So heavy emphasis, absolutely. The guidance is completely there. You're on the spiritually correct path for your career. However, here you are. Well, no, here's your 1st house. 1st house echoed here. Which only makes sense because 2 other kings are here in your 1st house. Deciding. So well, are you torn between what you want? But look at all the creative energy. Look at the creative strength in your wands, in your 5th. It's like a no-brainer. But you know that. Whoa! Did you see? Did the camera catch that? I hope so. Right in the deck. Divine timing here. Masculine aspect of God or masculine form, person of God. Mars. Co-ruler of Scorpio of 8th house, but ruler of 1st house. So your 1st house is definitely how do we have the primary energy both upside down, and yet here is there just massive resistance? Is that what there is? Look at this. Okay. Yeah. Like that, it's just more and more a free will situation or a soul contract. But then what is the problem? You don't have a problem with a soul contract. Are you just worried about... For me, Mars is loves and loyalties. I'm not sure. You know what? I just feel like I need to move on from this house because I don't know what could be clearer. And I just need to understand. So let's go to 10th house. Let's go to Capricorn. Let's just straight up career and reputation. Devil's in the details. So the 8, 9, 10 of Pentacles. We already know the 9. We already know the 10. Damn. Did a whole paragraph have to fall to the floor? It's all in progress. No, it's only 2 cards. Okay. Oi. Right, okay, so we've got Leo, 5th house energy right here. Now we have the echo of your 1st house, because we have swords versus wands. And we have Knight of Wands, betting on himself. And we have 3 of Cups down, your own energy. But also this can be an 11th house card as well. I don't know, because astrology ignores, I don't know, but anyway. Going back to the 2 of Cups, needing healing. Now we could be talking about that heartbreak. Yeah, okay, so we have, but seriously, you don't really want Knight energy in your career house. You want King energy in your career house. So we're in motion, there's movement, absolutely, but I feel like it is like 2 different directions. These Knights are not going to go together. For me, this is Libra energy. Fastest moving Knight in the deck, yes, and the most inconsistent Knight in the deck. Coming and going, coming and going, coming and going. So there's the possibility of like that in-out energy. This would be fully committed energy. However, knowing what we know about 5th house, this is 5th house energy, and for me it's the 7th house energy. So if we just quickly go back. Got that 3 of Wands. We have a 3-3 situation. You gotta bet on you've gotta bet on yourself. And you gotta work with Venus. Because the situation is coming. It's gonna be, she's bringing you something. She's bringing you something. But so you gotta get the creative work done for sure. So maybe socializing shouldn't be a thing right now. Because you have the Sun and you have Pluto there. So, not that Sun isn't about socializing. So I guess it has to be according to what's appropriate. But I really feel like there's a lot of, depends on what, okay, can we just say focus on creating. If it is with other people, then it's with other people. If it's something you need to do alone, then do it, you know, get on with it. So you have 7th house seriously in progress. Here we have 2nd house. Okay. 5th, 2nd, and 7th. Yeah, we're in the early stages. You don't want, you know, like the page. Now there could be a child involved. There could be a student involved. Absolutely. But if we're looking at your 2nd house and that entrepreneur upside down, yeah, because of that transformation. That transformation and that Ace of Pentacles that's reversed. So we have the beginning of something. We do have, okay, so if we look at that 3 of Pentacles, yes, in your, God, I just had it.